So I welcome you all to our class JSS 2 Maths class. We are moving on to lesson 10. So in this lesson 10, we are going to learn how to round off numbers. Rounding off numbers. We're going to learn rounding off numbers. We'll solve some examples. After that, I'll leave you with work. So in today's class, we are using a pen. We'll still return back to our stylus pen next week, hopefully. So we are going to solve few examples in this very topic, rounding off of numbers. So we have two types of rounding off of numbers. If you are rounding numbers, you could either round it up or round it down. I will explain this better when we solve examples. Let's solve examples. Round off these numbers. Round off these numbers to the nearest 1,000 200 3 10. Round off to the nearest 1,000, 100, tens. Please, these are not the only rounding off. We have significant figure, we have whole number. We will learn all this, but we want to follow it step by step. So we want to focus on 1,000, 100, tens before we move to the next one. Here's the first question. Now we'll round it to the nearest 1,000, 100, and tens. The first question here is 12,835. 12,835. Please, this is how we are going to follow the rule. First of all, I would like to round it to the nearest 1,000. Secondly, to the nearest 100. And thirdly, to the nearest tens. To the nearest 1,000. If we are talking about 1,000, we are referring to numbers like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, a gap of 1,000, 1,000. So the number you want to round it to the nearest 1,000 is in between which of the 1,000? 12,835 is in between which of the thousands? Since I've cited example of what we mean by 1,000. 12,835 is in between 12,000 and 13,000. Now the next question is 12,835, is it more closer to 12,000 or more closer to 13,000? 12,835 is more closer to 13,000 than 12,000, because the middle of 12,000 and 13,000 is 12,500, and 12,835 passes the middle. It passes 12,500. So since it is this 12,835 is more closer to 13,000, we'll round this up to 13,000. So now you can see what I mean by rounding up. The number you are rounding, if it is more closer to an upper number, you round up. If it is more closer to a downward number, you round down. So we are rounding 12,835 up to 13,000. So our answer is 13,000. 12,835 to the nearest 1,000 is 13,000. Let's round this number, this same 12,835 to the nearest 100. This is how we'll do it. The 100 part is this 835. That's the 100 part. To the nearest 100, we are rounding the 100 part. So if you are rounding the 100 part, you first keep this very part, this 12, you write it and keep it. Then you will now go and round the 100 part and then join it to this very one that you kept. 835 is in between which of the hundreds? If we are talking about 100, we are talking about 100, 200, 300, a gap of 100. So 835 is in between 800 and 900. The second question, 835, is it more closer to 800 than 900 or 900 than 800? You see that 835 is more closer to 800 than 900 because the middle of 800 and 900 is 850 and 835 is not up to the middle. That is to say, it's more closer to 800. Since it is more closer to 800, we'll round this 835 down to 800. That is rounding down. 835 will be rounded down to 800. You will now come and write the 800 and join it together with the 12 that is there before. So your answer now is 12,800. 12,835 to the nearest 100 is 12,800. Let's do the third one, to the nearest tens. If you are rounding 12,835 to the nearest tens, the tens part is this 35. This 35 is the tens part. So you will kindly copy down what you have here. The 1, 2, 8 that you have, you will copy it down. Then you come around the 35. That's the tens part. What you get, you just come and put it there. Tens. So if we are talking about tens, we are talking about number like 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. That's example of tens. The next question is 35 is in between which of the tens? 35 is in between 30 and 40. Then we now ask again, 35, is it more closer to 40 than 30 or 30 than 40? 35 is actually the middle of 30 and 40. So if a number falls in the middle, what do? We round it down or we round it up. If a number falls in the middle, we round it up. Once a number falls in the middle, what we do is we round up. So 35 will be rounded up to 40. That 40, just come and add it up to the numbers that are waiting there. Your answer becomes 12,840 to the nearest tens. So this is to the nearest 1,000. This is to the nearest 100. And this answer is to the nearest tens. We have finished solving this example 1. Let's try another example. Example 2. Let's round this number 46923. 46,923 to the nearest 1,000, to the nearest 100, and to the nearest tens. We are going to do the same thing. Let's go. Then to the nearest 1,000. 46,923 is in between which of the 1,000? Is in between 46,000 and 47,000. Second question, 46,923, is it more closer to 46,000 than 47,000 or more closer to 47,000 than 46? It's more closer to 47,000. Since it's more closer to 47,000, we will round 46,923 up to 47,000. That's our answer to the nearest 1,000. Second answer to the nearest 100. The 100 part is this 923. So you first of all copy out the 46 that is there, that's the 1,000 part, and keep. Copy it out and keep. Then go around the 100 part. 923 is in between which of the hundreds? It's in between 900 and 1,000. 923 is in between 900 and 1,000. Because hundreds are 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. Those are examples of hundreds. 923, is it more closer to 900 than 1,000 or more closer to 1,000 than 900? 923 is more closer to 900 because the middle of 900 and 1,000 is 950 and 23 is not up to 50. So 923 is more closer to 900. So we are rounding 923 down to 900. So our answer becomes 46,900 to the nearest 100. The third one, to the nearest 100, to the nearest tens. Where is the tens part? This 23 is the tens part. So the other parts that you are yet to work on, that is 469, you will just come and copy it out. 469. Then we'll now go to the tens part to work on the tens part. 23. 23 is in between which of the tens? We've said example of tens. Tens are like 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. These are examples of 10. So 23 is in between which of the tens? 23 is in between 20 and 30. Is 23 more closer to 30 than 20? Or more closer to 20 than 30? 23 is more closer to 20 than 30. So we're rounding 23 down to 20 because 23 is more closer to 20. You kindly come and put your 20. So your answer becomes 46,920. That's to the nearest tens. This is to the nearest 100. This is to the nearest 1,000. And that's our answers. So at this point, I will leave you with assignment. Assignment. Round off these numbers. To the nearest 1,000, that is 1,000, 200, 3 tens. These are the numbers. The first question. Round off 13067. The second question, round off 8615. The third question, 4517. The last question, 16560. So we're going to stop here. Do well to click the subscription button down. You will see the subscription button. Do your best to click that button. And we're going to stop here. Do have a nice day. Goodbye.